And southbound just across from Mega Mall, there's been a collision between a motorcycle rider and a private car. No injuries and apparently only minor damage, so this might end in an amicable settlement. So it turns out the motorcycle and car didn't actually make contact. According to the motorcycle rider, the car cut in front of him, he hit his brakes and then fell down. The driver was wearing a jacket plus long pants plus the helmet, so no injuries, that's the main thing. And it was an amicable settlement between them, so the MMDA will just make a note of what happened and they're both free to go. And just across from that accident there appears to be a stalled bus because it's not moving and his back compartment is open. So the bus is having mechanical problems, but there's no passengers on board at the moment. According to someone from the bus, it's a problem with the compressor. Bus companies usually have their own tow trucks which are heavy duty, especially designed to tow these big vehicles, but could take a while to get here. Luckily he's managed to pull into the emergency bay, so he's not obstructing EDSA. And over here a couple of enforcers have stopped this. That will be a ticket for a truck ban. Actually, just a few moments ago they stopped a private car for anti-distracted driving act using cell phone while driving, which is a 5,000 peso penalty. And there's been a collision between this car and this motorcycle. Actually it happened in the middle of EDSA, but they pulled them off to the side so they won't obstruct traffic. I initially thought that this damage here on the side of the car was from the motorcycle, but apparently that happened another day. Luckily the lady does have a dash cam, so she's going through it now, trying to find the footage to show what happened with the motorcycle. Now on White Plains Avenue there was a report of a crash between a car and a electric bicycle or tricycle, and apparently there's injuries also, so there are Quezon City ambulances here. This might be the e-vehicle here, electric scooter. There's a lot of complaints about these. It's a good thing that responders were here so fast. You'll see a gentleman inside the ambulance. He's already been patched up. Apparently he was on the e-tricycle. And you'll see the police are also on scene because whenever there's an injury during a road collision, they have to be here to deal with it. If you look on the front of this Lexus, you'll see a little bit of damage down there where I'm guessing the e-tricycle must have flipped over because the guy did hit his head by the looks of it. But I can't see any significant damage on this. Thankfully the police don't have far to take this. It's just going to the barangay. It's just over there, like literally 2 minutes away. And actually it turns out they've got a bit of a problem with this e-trike because the key is broken off inside the lock. At this point it's only a matter of paperwork, so we'll move on. Over here they've stopped this three-wheeler on EDSA in front of Farmers Plaza. According to the driver it's a service vehicle of a local barangay, but even still it shouldn't be here on EDSA. This vehicle should actually be registered with LTO because it's a 200cc gasoline engine. The enforcer already has a driver's license and he'll be issuing a ticket for tricycle ban. I believe that's 500 peso. The driver just produced this plate, but certainly not for a barangay nearby. This is from Manila City. Plus it's 2018 and this isn't an LTO registration, which is what's required to drive the vehicle on the road. And over here you'll see one of the new tow trucks that's been purchased by the MMDA. This is a newer style of tow truck. It's the same one that they're using in the US, where you just back up to the vehicle and then this goes down and automatically kind of wraps around the wheels and basically does everything for you. It's very, very fast compared to the tow trucks that are being used by their accredited towers. This one is actually owned by MMDA itself, and I think it will primarily be used for stalled vehicles and removing vehicles that have been in collisions along EDSA. The buses are going crazy right now because there's two pedicabs riding along EDSA. Incredible. They know they're not allowed on EDSA, they know how dangerous it is, but they go here anyway. Oh, and now they're going to drive counterflow against oncoming traffic. Wonderful. This car here just made a left turn. It's not allowed. Is this one going to do the same? No. Anyway, the enforcer's going over to him now. The driver's calling for a lifeline. The thing is, the penalty is disregarding traffic sign. It's only 150 peso. The driver spoke to me and I said, the ticket's only 150 peso. He said, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. And then I said, what principle? You took a left turn where it says no left turn, and now you're trying to name drop someone. If it's about principle, just take the ticket. The enforcer's just writing out the ticket now, and then he'll send the man on his way. It's only 150 peso, and his license will not be confiscated. You see there's a lot of traffic on White Plains right now. The reason is there's been a collision between this red car and this white truck. It looks like the damage will be minimal, but there will still be damage. And you'll see the enforcer's on scene now, so he'll check the license of each driver, the ORCR, to make sure the vehicles are registered and everything's okay with that. There is no injury, so there's no need for an ambulance, and he'll make a report about what happened. Most likely what happens in these kind of situations, these minor bumps, is they come to an amicable agreement where they both just say, hey, you fix your car, I'll fix my car, and they just go on their way. According to the lady of the red car, she'd already stopped. The truck tried to go around the outside of her and then bumped her, but that's only one side of the story. I wasn't here, I didn't see what happened. Now the photographs have been taken, I think they're going to move the cars so they're not obstructing the road anymore. A couple of nearby police officers have also just arrived just to check what's going on and make sure everything's okay. It looks like they're going to have the truck move instead of the car. Oh, there you go, perfect. All the way, no problem. The damage is limited to just the front bumper and it's not too bad. Shouldn't be too expensive to fix this. And those vehicles were moved just in time because heavy rain has started to come down, which means more traffic, more accidents. I'm using a plastic bag over my camera. Hopefully it'll keep it safe. There's a report on Kesson Avenue of 3 trees that have fallen down, and you see they're just working hard to clear it now. They've already cleared one lane and the other lane should be clear soon enough. And these guys that you see here are also MMDA. They were further down the road clearing out a sewer to avoid flooding. They saw there was traffic and then they realized that 3 trees have fallen down. So they brought their heavy equipment along here, some hand saws and things like that. And they managed to clear one lane already. And hopefully soon they'll have the second lane cleared also. Over here you'll see a tow truck towing a bus. And I believe it's got stuck, because if you look at the back wheel, it's jammed on that raised portion over there. It's quite narrow space here, and I guess they didn't anticipate that it might get stuck. They're really pulling, but it's wet also, so it's struggling to get grip. I think they're looking for something to put under the wheel so it can try and get a grip on the road. Maybe a couple of small rocks by the looks of it. Not ideal, but maybe it'll be enough. No, it's just not getting any grip, and the bus is stuck pretty good on that curb over there. If they can't get bigger tow trucks, maybe breaking this concrete would be an idea and then just have MMDA repair it later. Again, not an ideal solution, but having one lane of EDSA blocked isn't ideal either. Right now traffic's pretty light, so it's not that big a deal, but later or even tomorrow, this definitely has to be gone one way or another. We were driving along and suddenly we saw a huge flash come out of this building here, Robinson's Galleria. You'll see the power's gone out. Something came crumbling down and like sent sparks everywhere. The guard said it's something to do with the electricity. They're trying to keep everyone away from that area because the wire has come down there. It looked like it was quite high on the building. Kind of looked like an explosion from far away. But they're saying it's electrical cables and they've come down here. So of course they want to keep everyone away from this just in case it's still live. And on northbound EDSA there's a stalled vehicle, UV Express, no passengers inside. They might have gone down already, and I think right now what they're going to do is try and roll this back towards that curb, have it tight up against there, because when the buses try and get here they keep getting stuck, and it'd be much better if he's just over there out of the way at least. So they've stopped traffic behind and the driver of the UV Express is rolling it back now, trying to get it towards the curb. Oops. So now that's up against the curb, the flow of traffic is much better, so it was definitely worth doing that, and just wait for the tow truck to come in now. The driver said he went over a couple of metal plates, one of them lifted up and then it ripped off, I think it's the sump underneath, the one that holds all the oil for the engine, so it's not drivable at all. But luckily, because it's on a hill, it was easy enough to roll backwards up against this curb. And like I said, you can see the traffic's flowing much better now compared to a few moments ago. There was a collision in Shore Tunnel between a taxi and a private car. They've moved forward in front of Mega Mall so they won't be in the way and won't be causing traffic. There's only very minor damage on each one. Actually, the taxi came out worse. Let me show you. So if you look on the taxi, you'll see the front bumpers come apart there. The front end has also been pushed in a little bit. The Kia at the front has very little damage and a little bit of a scratch, but otherwise it's come out perfectly fine. The driver of the taxi has offered to pay for the repairs and he'll be guiding them now towards his garage and take care of it there. The MMDA have obviously made a report about what happened. I'm sure the taxi driver or his company will be able to resolve this.